Good morning. So thank you all for being here, and thank you, Patty Murray, for your extraordinary leadership. I was fairly new to Washington when Patty was first elected to the Senate in 1992. Her willingness to stand up and step out for things that were important to her really inspired me to do what I do today. And while we've had many historic wins like Patty's over the years, we can't just sit back and assume that history happens as it should, that the world we want is inevitable. It doesn't work that way. Our environmental legacy is the result of hard work of those who came before us, the tribes fighting for treaty rights, people taking a stand for their communities, groups putting aside differences and coming together, like the Environmental Priorities Coalition, the Alliance for Jobs and Clean Energy. There's so much to be proud of, yet there's so much more to be done. We can say we love trees and whales and tell anyone who'll listen that we don't like traffic jams, but at some point you have to sit down and look at what it takes to get the job done. Real solutions that are built through partnerships. Things like Sound Transit 3, are what our state needs to achieve sustainable and equitable future we all want. True partnerships like ours with Washington Environmental Council give us a chance to build a cleaner and healthier future. Together with organizations like Climate Solutions, Transportation Choices Coalition, Puget Sound SAGE, One America, and the Washington State Labor Council, we're working to strengthen the environmental movement beyond its traditional boundaries. When WCV and the League of Conservation Voters endorsed and helped elect Governor Inslee in 2012, it was because of his vision for our state and his willingness to lead for the environment. And he's done just that. In the face of a state senate that has thrown up just about every roadblock you can imagine, the governor has, with the help of all of us in this room, secured $176 million for clean energy, capped carbon pollution through his executive authority, helped pass the greenest transportation package ever. I have spent most of my career advocating good environmental policy. And as the governor can attest, right now it's not the policy that's the problem, it's the politics. And it's WCV's job to help overcome those political problems. Getting the right people elected to office is critical, and Shannon Murphy is going to talk a little bit more about that this morning, but it takes more than that. We need to help build the pipeline of people who will stand up for the environment. We need to help people make that jump and run for office. And once elected, we need to help them be the champions we know they could be. We need to work with them in support of good ideas. We need to have their backs when they stand up. And we need to hold them accountable when they don't. WCV does all of that because this is about our future. This is about my kids' future. Working in broad coalitions, we are undefeated against oil and coal in Washington. So far, we are 7-0 against coal export and oil train projects. Shell, no. Our next governor will decide whether the largest oil terminal in the country is built in Vancouver, Washington. Our next commissioner of public lands can reject permits for a massive coal export facility in Longview. And a greener legislature would put us on offense to more quickly transition to clean energy and tackle toxic pollution. Our state's elections have consequences, and we cannot allow those who don't stand for Washington's values to make these decisions. We don't just work in politics for elections. We do this work to ensure the people of our state have a voice in their future. It's not up to big oil. It's not up to a few climate deniers. It's up to us. In an election where we can't take anything for granted, we all have to show up. There is more on the ballot than politics. We are voting for clean water. We are voting for climate action and clean energy. We are voting to build a 21st century transportation system, and we're voting to protect the public lands that we all share. The work doesn't end November 8th. We're just getting started. It's time, all right. It's time we recognize true leaders and real solutions. It's time for genuine partnerships. Together, we can write the next chapter in Washington's environmental legacy.